Nick, have you ever been screwed over in pro wrestling as bad as Jey Uso screwed over his own flesh and blood Jimmy last night?
Yeah, why not? 100 million times or so. And my brother hasn't betrayed me yet, so there's plenty of time for
Yeah.
that. But just yeah, plenty of time for that. But yeah, of course, helping people out. One of my favorite things that just reminded me of, maybe it's Evolution, and they were all in the Royal Rumble, and I think it's Flair and Batista get rid of somebody, and then Flair like puts his arm around Batista. He's like, "Yeah, we're killing it, bro," and then goes to send him out, and then like Batista just turns it around and throws him out of there. And it's one of like the funniest things. Like he was like, "Oh, just playing around." Like stuff like that is fun, but also that goes to show like this. There's so many layers to this. The bloodline and the Usos moving forward to be the guy on the show. Like there's so many pieces to this. I really thought last night we were going to get the story of the Usos, and then maybe you get LA Knight or AJ Styles or Dirty Dom or Penta or Sheamus or somebody that you go, here is a fresh thing that we've never seen with Punk. Holy shit, Penta and Punk? Oh my God. If we're going baby, baby, who the hell cares? We want the two faces on the marquee that go, I've never seen this before on television or something big. And we went back to Uso Punk, which is fine because there's a story there, obviously, already built in and behind the scenes. But it was real easy if they're not going with LA Knight, which it always like I've been in this situation before when you're constantly close and then they're not pulling the trigger on you. That's long term storytelling. Very likely it's not. It's like, okay, we're gonna get this guy here, sells t-shirts, you guys get behind him, you like his promos, you like his matches, but we're not going with him. So what we're gonna do is make him third or fourth place all the time and always have him out there and get some positive behind it. That's great. But just not for pop of the night, but just for long-term storytelling with the four dudes who were all fighting over the world title. It would have been something different. I would have loved to see something different here. It's so easy. It's for one match, and maybe from what we've been talking about, maybe this match doesn't even have a finish. So who the hell cares? Obviously, it matters and you care. But if you're going baby, baby, and you're going to have the Vision come destroy everybody and wreck this place and rip the ring in half, why not give us something we've never seen? Hell, Sheamus and Punk, I'd be like, cool, man. I haven't seen that in 20 years. But like Penta, Dom, LA Knight, AJ Styles, you were like, holy shit, AJ and Punk are gonna go. What is this match 5,000? They haven't done this in 15 years. Holy shit! There's all these moments that you go, you could just put their two faces on a marquee, and we went back to Uso Punk, and that's fine. But I'm very curious to see where they go because the story is behind the scenes is going to be the Vision getting out, not being in that battle royal, and also the brother like taking two bullets for your brother and then getting dumped out. Obviously, there's going to be an issue there.
Do you think there was enough dissension between Jimmy and Jey last night that Punk and Jey are having a match and the Vision interferes? And the Vision are really laying it on Punk and Jey, because if they can't be the champs or the championship can't stick with them, then nobody's going to be the champ. That Jimmy Uso runs in to make the save with a chair and then throws the chair to the Vision so they can beat the shit out of Punk and his own brother even more. Is there enough dissension with the Usos at this juncture?
So it's real close. So yeah, there's enough there to be like, oh, this guy. But also, we have a couple weeks to make it even more so if that's the case, or at least tease it in there, and then they keep their tough relationship together. So far, right now, a little bit of dissension back and forth, but saying, hey, we're on the same page. We're twin brothers. We're family. We've been here. We've been through so much shit. We shouldn't get on in our own way. But also in a battle royal, hey, if I was out there with my brother, I'd be like, hey, listen, I want you to kick ass. Just so you know, if I see you, I'm going to kick the shit out of you and dump you out because that's what I would want you to do if I was out there. So good luck. We're all good with everything behind the scenes, but there's been so many issues. And now to save, hey, in our business, going to bat for people and then getting burned is something that happens all the time and no one even hears. You don't even get the glory about getting here, but it's behind the scenes. You went to Vince to go, hey man, I really think this guy should beat me. I shouldn't have it tonight. He's got something. There's something special there. I don't see it. I don't see it. Damn it, Vince. Give me a shot. We're going to steal the show. I'm going to put this guy over. I'm going to make somebody. All right, go do it. Whatever. And then you have the match, and it's like, okay, this guy's well on his way. And people don't know those struggles and those fights, let alone the act being related and having them play out on TV. So all those pieces together is just not enough yet. But it's over the next few weeks, it's really going to build up to one. I assume, much like you said, I think the Vision is just going to beat everybody's ass, especially if it's a baby match and take away a win. But what you can have is not just the busting up the show. You might have a turn between the Usos.
Okay, hypothetical. The Vision does not get involved in the match between CM Punk and Jey Uso. Are they putting that championship on one of those guys right now?
I don't think so. Isn't that weird? I don't think either one of those guys are going to have it. I don't know. Punk doesn't need it. Jey doesn't need it. But to have it, cool. There's nothing. It's great. Friggin' be world champion is one of the coolest damn things ever, no matter where you are or what you've done, period. But to be so beloved by a crowd one way or another, to not need it is the greatest attribute in pro wrestling history. So I don't know that either. That's why I really wanted somebody else. Only because they don't need it. They've transcended being a world champ, but world champ is a big badass thing, and you can set in and lock and sink your teeth into it, make it big. The reason I keep agreeing with you on there not being a finish or a weird one is because the two people fighting for it are above world champion.
Pulling the trigger on Punk on a Saturday night's main event right now to become champion, that doesn't feel right at all. I agree with you. Punk does not need a championship, and when the eventual night comes, that Punk wins the championship, it has to be the payoff of all payoffs, just like him finally getting to be in a main event of WrestleMania. Punk, much like a Dusty Rhodes, it's a good place to be in. Never need a championship. When they put the championship on you, it's just for the payoff. It's coming right back off you because the people love you either way.
Yep.
Jey Uso winning, I would look as nothing more than a placeholder right now.
Yeah.
Like what I think I'd like to see coming out of this match at the bare minimum is the no finish, the involvement from the Vision, and Pierce being forced into book a four-way for the World Championship. I don't like four-ways.
Yeah.
I'm barely okay with a three-way dance unless you have the right guys who can make the right sense out of it and mostly the right story. Four-ways become a bit convoluted, but I don't think we've seen a good four-way in a long time. And maybe I'm wrong, or maybe we have seen a four-way, but it wasn't good enough for me to remember. But the thought of Punk, Jey, Braun, and Bronson in there intrigues me because now, as much as the Vision need to be seem to be on the same page right now, they're going to be against each other, and when we have the other two baby faces, and oh, by the way, will Jimmy screw over his brother?
Right.
And with Seth gone, I think that's enough intriguing storytelling going on. If you're Jimmy Uso right now, what is your demeanor towards your brother after the past couple of weeks?
It's one of those ones.
What would your demeanor be towards your brother?
I was just gonna say, if it's my brother in real life, you're like, hey man, everything's fine, no problem. We're good. We're always good. We're family. But you don't genuinely think that. You're like, you say it on the surface. I always got your back. I always got you. It's been 35 years. We got it. Don't worry about it. But you're pissed off, and adding in the battle royal to it, now you're like, oh, okay, I'm a little extra pissed off, but nothing more important than our family, blah, blah, blah. And in pro wrestling, that's as big as it gets. It goes your career being the world champion, and it's like your wife or husband or your child or your family, and it becomes like much like these two are bigger than the world title, it becomes a bigger moment in pro wrestling to have that. So whether it is a turn on one another or at least continuing to plant seeds on it, I would be pissed. In real life and on the show, I would have a dirty look in my eye as he walked away, but I wouldn't be planning on making sure that Punk wins because he shouldn't. Nothing like that. I would just go on the surface, yeah, everything's fine. And, we've all been in relationships where someone goes, everything's fine, and it sure as hell isn't. That's where I would be. And now I'd be ready to, with one more crack, we're out. You're on your own.
Okay, you were talking about somebody else.
Yes.
Last night, you would like to have seen somebody else. Who would that somebody else have been in your world? I heard you mention LA Knight. Would LA Knight have been the guy?
No, I wouldn't, because it would be setting him up to look like a perennial loser, and
Okay.
I would absolutely not want that to happen for him. Even if I have no plans for the next 2 years of him being on top or close to the top, you get to a point where it's like similar to some booking that I had. It was like 3 consecutive pay-per-views fighting for an intercontinental title, and everyone knows you're not winning, and it's like, isn't that cool that you were 3 straight pay-per-views? Like, no, it's not, because long term, an 8-year-old kid is now losing faith that I even have a shot. So long term, it was a better move to keep him out of there, because you get the people's hopes up one more time and you take it away, and they start to subconsciously think this guy's a loser. I can't get behind him. So smart move, not putting him in there if you're not putting the title on him. But you could have had him win, and you could have him win the title, and you could have Bronson and Braun come bust up the whole show afterwards. But I don't think that's what they're looking for. Clearly, that does not appear to be in the booking. But even something like Sheamus kicking ass, I was like, I'd love to see Sheamus pull this off. Penta would be a cool ass fucking one, I thought. Pardon my French. Penta, I was like, man, this would be kind of sick. And even if you just let these guys, it's baby, and I don't want it to be, but it's set up that way already. So that's why the most of the names that I put down were babies, and Dom, who's half and half. So I wanted to see something different where everyone could just go, oh shit, okay. And you could still have all your stories play out. But I get where they're going story-wise.
To your recollection, have we gotten AJ versus Punk in the WWE?
No, that's one of the main reasons he was out there. Like, one, he won the tag titles earlier. That's great. And normally I wouldn't give a shit. Or I wouldn't give a shit putting him in the Battle Royal. But I go, man, Punk AJ?
Yeah.
That's something you put 2 faces on the marquee, and you go, okay, we'll book the show. We'll book the rest of the show around that.
The reason I love the AJ idea is because AJ versus Cena happened because of a couple of tweets.
Yeah.
They absolutely tore it down in Perth and put on a very memorable match that people loved, right? Now AJ comes back and becomes a tag team champion last night. So, okay, they put a tag strap on him. We need a body for the Battle Royal, but there's no way in hell he's going to win, because they just put a tag strap on him and boom, he wins. Yeah. Holy shit. AJ versus Punk would have had this, in my opinion, the same amount of fan interest as AJ and Cena. Agree? Disagree?
Completely agree. And the best part is, yes, you're gonna help Dragon Lee. You got the titles back in motion, and everybody before that Cena match, everyone's saying, hey, AJ's got the year left, and it sounds like he's done. So you get that Cena moment. Now you're like, oh, okay, he's got a title to defend, so there's gonna be some cool matches, and that's gonna be a fun way to ride off in the sunset. And then you go, oh shit, he might be a double champion. Okay, they're going all out for this last year. They're gonna make this happen. He's gonna be putting on bangers, and possibly not similar to what I was doing, but there was a couple times in the early 2010s, 12s, that I was doing a tag match for the tag titles at a pay-per-view, and 2 matches later I was fighting for the Intercontinental title. And having that goes to show, like, one, AJ can obviously back that up, so it'd be cool to see. But it goes, wow, we went from a month ago, AJ's just kind of hanging out, to all of a sudden he has this match with Cena, and we're remembering how awesome he is. Now he's got this match booked with Punk, and he's the tag champ. He might be the world champion and all these pieces, and you go, wow, and we're just getting going with his last year. What an amazing moment. This is going to be great. And that's really why I really thought, like, man, strike while the iron's hot, because AJ's one of the best, but he's kind of been sitting around the last few months or year, whatever. And now you have the Cena match that everyone was talking about. You put those 2 faces AJ and Punk on a marquee, and you can book the rest of the card around it. That puts the butts in seats. And there really could have been a special moment on that last night. But again, I think they're going to go with that a couple different versions of the Bloodline story that play out. And if that's the best way to do it, then we'll see at the main event.